Do you know what you want more? We've been talking about decisions, how life is full of them, and how overwhelming that can feel. The goal of this series is to help you get better at making decisions from a place of peace, not chaos. And that's where we're really slowing down, examining our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and the underlying perspectives that shape how we choose in life. We're continuing our read of the book, The Next Right Thing, and diving into chapter 8 today, which is titled, Know What You Want More. I want to start with a story. So let's get into it. You're listening to the Driven Introvert Podcast, the place to be for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to birth the dreams, callings, and ideas the Lord has placed in their hearts. Do you sense that God is calling you to step out and do something new, but you're held back by fear and uncertainty? Do you struggle with believing that you can do great things because of your quiet, reserved, and introverted nature? Welcome here. I'm Remy Roy, your host and founder of shepact.com. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, a creative, and a committed trier. I'm here to help you get unstuck and make progress on your God idea. Let's go. Back in 2020, yes, that year that life slowed down for all of us, COVID hit, and suddenly we were home. For the first time in a long time, many of us were forced to sit still to confront things we hadn't paid attention to before. Now, I know everyone had different experiences during that season, but for me, it was especially unique. I had just experienced a devastating loss, so in a strange way, the quiet was welcome. I still had work. I had client projects. In fact, my business actually took off during that time. I would wake up each morning, look at my day and ask, what do I need to do today? And my answer was always, work. That was it. No events, no big goals, no major projects outside of client work, just me, my laptop, and the comfort of routine. And I absolutely loved it. I love sitting down to design, getting lost in my creativity, listening to music or watching a movie while working. It was just my husband and I at home, no kids yet, and life was beautifully simple. But then I started to feel it. That old feeling, the one that says, I want to be working on something meaningful. Something bigger than client work. A dream, a goal, a thing. I've always been that person. I've always had a project, quote unquote. Maybe it was my blog or a book or a course I was building. There was always something cooking in the background. But during the season, there was nothing. And I loved that peace. Until I didn't. Now that led me to a powerful question. What do I really want? I realized I loved the peace, the simplicity, the quiet calendar, but what I wanted more was purpose. I wanted impact. I wanted to help people. I wanted to do meaningful work. And the reality is sometimes peace and purpose don't coexist in the way that we expect. In chapter 8 of the book, The Next Right Thing, Emily Freeman works through the idea of naming what you really want, how that is a crucial part of decision making, especially big decisions that shift things in your life. She shares a story about a chef named Vivian Howard, who rose to fame with a documentary-style kind of show. It's called A Chef's Life. I've never seen it. Now I want to see it. Vivian had dreams of being a chef, and also she wanted to become a writer. And so as she became more popular, the demands of her time increased. She had to do TV appearances, she had to cater, she had to travel. She had kids and a restaurant to run, so she had to choose between being a successful chef or a successful author. And here's the thing. Sometimes our choices aren't always between good and bad. Sometimes it's between good and good, or maybe good and even better. And that makes them harder. But the thing is, refusing to decide is still a decision. So the work becomes naming what you really, really want. That'll help you make the decision. Emily ties this to the story of blind Bartimaeus in the Bible. When Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? It's such a profound moment. Because Jesus already knew he was blind, but he still asked him, what do you want? He wanted Bartimaeus to name it, to say it out loud. And I think there's a lesson in that. We avoid naming what we want because it's scary. Saying it out loud means you have to face it and face whatever stands in the way of that. That could be responsibilities, people's opinions, fear of judgment, or your own doubts about what is possible. But still, you have to name it. because your life cannot align with something you won't even admit to yourself. Now, I'm a very decisive person. I make quick decisions and I stick with them. It's not always a good thing. Sometimes I stick with the wrong decision until it's painfully clear I need to pivot. But many people wrestle with decision fatigue because they haven't taken the time to ask, what do I really want? Not what your community wants, not what your mentor says, not what looks good or smart. What do you want? You probably had that coin flip exercise, like you flip a coin for option A or B. And when you do flip the coin and you see, where it goes, you notice your reaction when the coin lands. That gut response, that's like what you really desired. It's not always scientific, but it helps you uncover what's actually underneath. Emily says the same thing in her book. Name what you want, say it, write it, pray about it. She also shares a helpful alternative to the classic pros and cons list. And I know you know about that, where you write out the pros and the cons of making a decision, and that way you kind of figure it out. Now, instead of just listing advantages and disadvantages, Emily kind of changes it up. She asks, what is life-giving and what is life-draining? So instead of a pro or the con of making a decision, does this give me life? Does this drain life out of me? It's not always black and white. Sometimes the life-giving thing comes with life-draining tasks. Like, for example, for introverts, hosting can be draining, but the community that you get from hosting can be life-giving. So you have to do all this work when people have to come over to your house and you're overwhelmed by it. But when you do get through that and people come over, you're like, I love this. I love spending time with you guys. It's about weighing the whole picture. It's about weighing the entire thing. So when you think about the things that you really want, take time to ask yourself for real. Take time to dig deep when you're considering something. For example, if you are considering taking a step that requires you to do more and be more, and right now you find yourself not confident enough, not feeling like you don't have what it takes to actually take that step, ask yourself, what do you want more? Do you want to be comfortable where you are, doing what you're doing for the next foreseeable future? Or do you want to risk whatever might be on the other side for the possibility that you might actually get something better than what you have right now? That should help you make that decision. And unfortunately, some people will still not make that decision because the responsibility and what is required of you seems too big, and you have not come to the place to believe in yourself enough to know that it's possible. I hope that's not you. So here's a practical thought for you. If you are that introvert who is shy, who is unsure, who is overwhelmed, who is uncertain about the future, who is thinking, I don't know that I have what it takes to reach beyond where I am right now. I don't know that I have what it takes to punch above my weight right now. I want to tell you, you do have what it takes. If you've ever considered it, you do. It's because you do. But you have to know that the forces, the external forces pushing against that decision is what you have to confront. You have to confront it. If not, it will never stop. You have to speak what you want to see. You have to find people who can encourage you, who can pull you up, right? So here's a practical thought for you. Spend time today speaking what you want to see. If you're not used to saying it outright, write it down. Write it down. What do you want to see? What would you rather have? What would you rather do? What do you want more than anything for this area of your life? Write it down and then speak it out loud. That part of actually saying it for your own ears to hear what your mouth is saying is very important because it gets into your spirit that way. Say it out loud. And to find someone around you who can encourage you. Reach out to someone who can encourage you, who can pull you up when you're spiraling and you're feeling like, I can't do this, I don't know how to make a decision, I don't know how to move forward. Find someone. I want to be that person for you. If you want, send me an email at thedrivenintrovert@gmail.com. Let me encourage you. All I know is it is possible for you. The life that you want is possible for you. What do you want more than what you currently have? Let your answer guide your next right thing. There's more ahead of you than there is behind you, friend. Even if life feels heavy, even if you're unsure, keep showing up. Keep praying, keep reflecting, keep deciding, and keep doing the next right thing. If you'd like to chat or share what you're working through, send me an email, again, at thedrivenintrovert@gmail.com. And thank you for supporting the show. And if you want to, you haven't already, click the link in the show notes to support. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this conversation, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. I'd also love your feedback on this episode. You can scroll down on your app and click write a review. I'd love to read your takeaways from this conversation. As always, don't forget to take courage, trust God, and go pursue your big ideas. See you next time. The Driven Introvert is produced by shepack.com and Remy Roy. Want to ask a question or share a comment on a future episode? Click on the link in the show notes to record your question in a voicemail.